What's going on, guys? For today's video I'm going to be doing a baby Redfoot Tortoise care guide. I already have one for the sulcatas, but I want to make sure that I got you guys well informed just in case you purchase one of these guys from me. Have some available, got some more hatching out. These are the yearling ones that I have, so you can see they're a little bit bigger, and I also am going to have hatchlings. In 2 weeks I'll have some hatchlings available. So if you guys are interested, make sure you either send me a message through Instagram or just go directly through my website. Everything's going to be in the description. So yeah, let's get right into the video. Alright, what I'm going to start off with is the setup. So you guys see there's the little Redfoot right there. But anyways, what I like to use is the Zoom Ed Tortoise house. So you can see it comes with a built-in hide. There you can see all the other Redfoots and one of the sulcatas. I only have 3 sulcatas left, so these guys are about to go out. So 3 left for the year, and then I'll have more babies in 3 months when they start hatching out again. But yeah, this is great because they come with built-in hides. As you can see, all the babies were in there. You can see them there, and it's perfect in there, very dark, and you could open it up, access very easy. Another good thing is that it comes with this metal wiring so that no predators could get to them. You do have to watch out because I've heard a story of a guy that had a baby tortoise in one of these, and a rat actually got through the hole and ate off one of the tortoise's legs, and it ended up dying. So you gotta watch out for that. That's why I have this net over it. That way no rats get to it and no mosquitoes get to it either. But what I like to use as substrate is some organic topsoil and a little bit of cypress mulch. You don't want to get soil that has fertilizer in it because they could eat it, like the little green balls that come in the soil. I don't really know the correct term for it. This is a reptile channel, not a gardening channel. But anyways, yeah, I need to take a little breath. I'm kind of sick, so if my voice sounds weird, that's probably why. Alright, so one thing that you may have noticed is I don't have a water bowl in here, and the reason for that is that you can see I have a lot of tortoises in here, and tortoises, when they drink water, they like to pee and poop. So the thing with that is, if there's a bunch in here drinking, peeing, and pooping in the same water, there's going to be infection spreading, so I don't want that. What I do for them, I'll do it in this video right now. After I'm done talking about the enclosure, is I like to soak the babies so that they could drink fresh water, and they'll be able to pee and poop in that and not have to drink dirty water that sits there for hours and sometimes even days, depending on the owners. If I do have a water bowl, I change it every day, and that's only if I have a few tortoises in the same enclosure, or whatever animal I have in the same enclosure. I always change the water bowl once a day. Another great thing about this enclosure is if you do have them inside, you could just put the lamps, the UVB and the heat lamps, right on top of it. I keep them outside. I'm in South Florida, so there's no need for that here. When it gets too cold outside, like recently, I just take the whole box inside when it's nighttime, and I bring them outside during the day when it's more warm. So weather here in Florida changes a lot. So for temperature, I really don't have any hands-on experience with, since I keep them outdoors. But usually the temperatures here are 70 to maybe 86 degrees, so that's probably what I would keep them in indoors too. I would have a cooler side with 70 degrees and a warmer side with a basking spot at around 80 to 90 degrees. So the thing with that is the weather here in Florida, or like anywhere outside, it's obviously going to change throughout the day. Inside of an enclosure, it wouldn't be able to change because obviously it's indoors. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have different gradients throughout the enclosure so that the tortoise can move around through those temperatures as it wishes. For humidity, the humidity where I am right now in Florida is 70%. So Florida itself is really humid. These guys require around 70 to 80% humidity as well. I like to spray them down with one of these. This is the same thing that I spray my snakes with. So obviously this is for like fertilizer and all that, but don't put fertilizer in it, just put water. Make sure it's a clean container. This cost me about, I think, $8. But yeah, it's great since you don't have to be spraying it all the time. You just hold it down. Let me show you real quick. And this guy's gonna get a little spooked, but right there you see, you just hold it down and it sprays out some water. You get to mist down the whole enclosure, and it works great. And I do that about once a day. And like I said, Florida is already really humid as it is, so it stays at 70% throughout the day. So you obviously have to adjust depending where you are. Maybe a couple more mistings a day if it gets too dry too quickly in your enclosure. For nighttime, I see people keep heating lamps on throughout the night. I personally wouldn't do that. At least I don't do it for my other reptiles, my lizards and my snakes. So what I would do is, as long as your room stays above 70 degrees Fahrenheit, that would be fine. You wouldn't want them getting under 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Although these guys could withstand colder temperatures up to 50, 40 degrees, you definitely do not want them in that temperature if they don't have to be. That's like the minimum. Obviously people could be in 20-degree weather, but you don't want them out there. You wouldn't want to be out there because it's cold. So I always bring these guys inside when it gets under 70 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what I recommend. All my adult tortoises, they stay in their sheds. I'll be showing you them now when we go back there. Now, one of the most important things that you guys need for these guys is UVB. UVB is basically the sunlight. This is the most important thing. 12 hours of a UVB bulb is the same as 15 hours of sunlight. I like to keep these guys out. I give them about an hour of sunlight every day. I just roll this out so you can see my boxes have wheels. They're just little carts that I put the boxes on top so I could just drag them out very easily. Yeah, these guys, they need some sunlight so that they could develop strong bones, strong shells. You probably have seen tortoises with pyramiding and metabolic bone disease. That's because of UVB. You wouldn't want these guys to not be able to absorb the calcium. They need UVB to absorb calcium. So that's why it's so important. If they can't absorb the calcium, they can't form strong shells and strong bones, and they become mushy. Basically, they'll become like a wet sandwich. Probably not as bad as a wet sandwich, but yeah, they get soft and they'll not be able to walk because their bones are too soft. It gets really ugly. If you guys want, search up some images of metabolic bone diseases in tortoises. Bearded dragons, it's very common in them too, and they won't be able to walk at all. It's a pretty bad disease. And it's just basically that they don't get enough calcium, or they can't absorb calcium because they don't have UVB. So you guys got to keep that in mind. That's very important that you give it to them. Alright, there we go. All the babies are soaking, getting some water. So you can see the water is very shallow. Very shallow. Their heads don't even go under. You would want the water just under their chin so that they're able to breathe normally. And yeah, so basically I just leave them in here for about 15 minutes, let them drink some water, and once they're done, I'll have their enclosure set up with some fresh food there for them to eat. I gotta clean that out, by the way. But yeah, they become very active after soaking, so if you have food after, that'll be great to calm them down. They'll eat a lot right after soaking. There you go, got some fresh romaine lettuce for them. Now I'm gonna let them soak here for a little bit while I go show you the adult. By the way, this is a sulcata tortoise, just in case you guys didn't know. This is the other 3 tortoises that you saw in there. It's one of these guys. I have care guides for these guys as well, so if you're interested in one of those, make sure you go check that out. I have a whole playlist on sulcatas, which I plan on making for Redfoots. This is gonna be the first video in the playlist. This video isn't gonna be really like a specified care video. It's gonna be more like a little basic video talking about the basic setup, basic food, pretty much basic care, and I'm gonna make a playlist going into more specific topics, just like food, hydration, care, humidity, temperature, all that stuff. So if you guys are interested in all that, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna have different care guides for different animals as they become available. I'm gonna have videos on new rescues that I get and all that good stuff, so make sure you're subscribed for more. Hit that bell icon so that you guys don't miss a video. And yeah, now let's get back to the video. Oh, almost forgot, the Hermans are also gonna be getting some care videos probably this summer when I get some babies. I don't like making care videos without babies available, but yeah, these are Hermans tortoises. They stay smaller, and that's one of the adults right there. That's one of the females, I'm pretty sure, maybe one of the males. Let me check. It's definitely one or the other, but I'm not sure which one. This is the male. This guy actually escaped for about a month. He jumped over the fence somehow. I don't know, he probably jumped, got on top of another tortoise, got out, didn't find them, and then one day I look out the door and he was standing right there, right in front of the door, looking into the house, waiting for me to come put him back. But yeah, here is the Redfoot enclosure. As you can see, it's just blocked off by those 2 cinder blocks. Have the same concept here, dirt in the bottom, cypress mulch on top. Although this is for a different reason. I have cypress mulch on top so that I could find nests easier once they lay. if I could have grass like I have for the sulcatas for them, I would, but they demolished it way too quickly. That's because I have 7 of them in here, and it's a small enclosure, as you can see. Obviously enough space for them, but not enough space for grass to grow. But when I get my own place, they're definitely gonna be able to have a whole garden for them. And this is their hide here. So and here are all my adult Redfoots. As you can see, that's one of the males. I have a bunch of these guys here. Have 7 of them, and this is pretty much how I keep them. Just basically the same thing, just a lot bigger. So cypress mulch all over the floor as a substrate. Have their hide here so that they could get under. And that girl, I thought she was missing a leg for a second. Kind of scared me there. I don't know if you guys saw that. But I have, as you can see, plants in here for them to eat. And this is some hibiscus. So let's see if he wants some. And these guys are really friendly tortoises. They're much easier than other tortoises to befriend, as I've noticed. The sulcatas that I got, they took probably about a month or 2 to tame up. These guys were tamed up right away, right after I got them. They were a little spooked at first, obviously, but every single animal that you get is going to be a little spooked the first couple of days until they get used to their environment. But yeah, these guys are great. You can see they're all going to start coming, waking up. And if I walked over there, they would all follow me. But yeah, I'm basically just going to tell you guys a couple different foods that you can feed them. And if you want more information on that, you're going to have to check out the videos, the playlist that I'm going to make for them. And I'll get into more details for them. But this is hibiscus. This is a great thing that you could plant for them. It'll grow, and you could just rip off the leaves and the flowers, and they'll tear it apart. I ripped that up wrong. But let's see if they'll eat some. So yeah, hibiscus is one of my favorite things to feed for them. And the best part is that the flowers, they'll just fall off after they're planted, after they're grown, or after they blossom. Like I said, we're not a gardening channel. I don't really know what I'm talking about with plants. But I'm going crazy. Look how many of these guys there are, all going against that one flower. So I'm gonna feed them now. They haven't ate today, but I'm about to feed them. And this is another thing that I love to feed them. This is spineless opuntia cactus. Got some more right there. You guys could probably find this on eBay. I've seen boxes. I didn't get it on eBay, so I don't know from experience. But I found this after the hurricane. I found an actual plant. I just ripped apart the plant. Each one of these pads, you could just rip off the actual pad and just put it in dirt, and it'll grow perfectly. Kind of like what I did right here. You see, it's just a pad put into the dirt, and it grew, and now look how big it is. The good thing about this, you just rip it off, throw it right on the ground, and they'll demolish it as well. Here they are. Now, one of the major differences between Redfoots and sulcatas is that these guys are a more tropical species. The sulcatas are more of a grassland species, and these guys could actually eat a lot more fruits, and they could even eat some meat, some eggs. Very rarely, of course. Like I said, I'm going to go into more detail on that with the food video, but I do feed these guys meat on some special occasions, and sometimes eggs as well. Usually I don't feed it too much unless I'm making maybe like a video on it. And these tortoises would be great for colder climates because, as you can see, they don't get too big. They're a bigger tortoise than some, like Redfoots and all that. And another great thing is that these guys, when they bite, it does not hurt. So you can see, he's not hurting me, just a little pinch. And yeah, so tortoises, they're great. They're not aggressive animals at all. So you can see he was curious to taste me, but once he realized I wasn't food, he spit me right out. And he actually got a really good bite on that one. Usually they get just the tip, but he put my whole finger in his mouth. But yeah, very great species. They're not aggressive. They really can't hurt you. Maybe the sulcatas, bigger tortoises like Galapagos and Aldabras, they get a hold of you, I'm sure they could do some damage, but smaller tortoises, not so much. So if you're not really into snakes or lizards like that, tortoises are probably the ones for you. Turtles, on the other hand, they do bite a lot harder. Some turtles, not all of them. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Get back with the Redfoots. There you go. They're eating a little bit of the spineless cactus. Spineless cactus is a great source of calcium, and it's really one of my favorite things to feed, and it's one of their favorite things to eat as well. So I like to feed this maybe 2 or 3 times a week if I can. Another good thing to feed are the hibiscus, like I said. The romaine lettuce, however, is not too good. That's low on nutrition, and really it's just for hydration. Basically, it has no nutritional value. So that's really probably the easiest thing for people to find. So it's what people feed the most. But like I was talking about metabolic bone disease earlier, if you feed just that, it's going to be leading to some issues, maybe something similar to that. They're not going to be able to grow as easily. But yeah, the puntia, the spineless cactus, hibiscus is my two favorite things to feed. Mulberry leaves as well, but it's winter time now, so the leaves are all off the trees. I don't have any trees here, but I have at my grandfather's house, and I just go get them there. Another great thing that you can feed is kibble. This is Missouri tortoise diet. This is a great kibble. You could get other types of kibble as well, but that's great for nutrition. I like to feed that at least 2 times a week, so that's something very good for you to feed them. Like I said, gonna be making videos on nutrition more specifically, so you guys can see the whole diet that you guys can feed them on there. And yeah, make sure you subscribe so you can check that out in the future. And here are all the little guys. You can see there's a little bit of poop right there. See that focuses? Some nasty little poop right there. And these guys are doing great. Not too much poop, honestly, this time. They usually poop a lot more, but I'm gonna put them all back in their enclosures so that they could eat their romaine lettuce. And I'll end off the video there. I'm gonna show you guys the incubator with some baby redfoots hatching out, and then I'll do the outro. There we go. All these guys are eating. They just stopped now that I started recording because they're like, what the heck is this guy doing? But anyways, I'm gonna let these guys eat in peace, and then I'm gonna go show you the babies. And here are all the redfoot eggs and a baby redfoot tortoise that just hatched out. As you can see, this guy is still absorbing his yolk sac. The yolk sac is that big. Basically, it's an umbilical cord for things that are in eggs. So I'm gonna put this guy down here, and he'll probably be able to come out in a couple more days. I'm gonna just let him rest up in here until he's done absorbing that. Then I'm gonna offer him some food and soak him and set him up in his enclosure. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, this is just going to be a basic video. I'm going to be talking more details and more specific videos. Like I'm going to make a diet video, I'm going to make a setup video, humidity video, all that good stuff. So make sure you guys subscribe for that. I'll make a whole playlist on redfoots. This is just the beginning of it. So now that I have baby redfoot tortoises available for you guys, I'm going to be informing you guys better on redfoots as well, just like I did for the sulcatas. If you guys want to check out the sulcata playlist as well, make sure you do that. The setup video, since I was talking about the setup in the beginning of this video, I talked about only the Zoom at Tortoise House. If you want to see how the tubs work, make sure you go check it out, the baby sulcata tortoise setup. The tubs are on there. It's pretty much the same thing for baby redfoots. Other than the humidity, you still got to spray them down a little bit more than the sulcatas. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe for more, leave a comment. If you have any ideas for future videos, make sure you leave that in the comments. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.